If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.
It's the Reality Check with Glenn Clark on WNST.net, live from Indianapolis and Super Bowl 46 Radio Row. Always a pleasure to be joined by our next guest, a Hall of Famer, here to help us with our health, which is very important for the men in our listening audience. The great Marcus Allen joins us in Indianapolis. Marcus, thanks for taking it.
Well, thank you. It's a pleasure to be here.
It is always a fun week. There is always a lot going on, but I always respect the fact...
Too much going on.
Yeah, way too much going on, in fact. I always respect the fact that guys like you, guys like Mike Haynes, take the time to remind everyone that we give October for breast cancer and things like that, but we probably don't do enough for men's health in particular, and this is a great week to do it because it's a week for men.
Well, I got involved as a result of Mike Haynes and my friendship with him. Mike was diagnosed a couple of years ago, and because he cared about me, he asked me...
what's your number is what he said,
what
right?
My numbers,
what's your number?
And I did know, and I did know. And I went in to get exam. My PSA numbers were fine. I guess they've been the same for several years, so I didn't have any spike in those numbers. And, so I was fine. But because I cared about Mike and he asked me to be involved with the program, just to create awareness, because you know what, guys, we should be proactive with our health, but we don't want to go to the doctor. We don't want to go to the hospital. We don't want to go for checkups, and we should,
As my wife sits here and nods.
When you talked about breast cancer, 1 in 8 women will get breast cancer, 1 in 6 men will get prostate.
I learned that when Mike was here yesterday. I didn't realize that number was real.
See, because we don't have the awareness, and that's what we're trying to do. And if you're 40 years old and older, go get examined. It's really important. Be proactive about your health. We want guys to live long, and obviously if we can, I really respect Mike because, he could have got diagnosed, got himself taken care of and healed, and just gone on about his business. But no, he took it upon himself to say, hey, this is something I can help, and health is very important. So, and he got Deacon Jones and myself involved, and we're here trying to pound the pavement and get guys to go see the doctor.
Our website is knowyourstats.org.
Yes,
it's simple as that.
Absolutely.
Go there, and that's how you can find out more information. And we're saying around the age of 40, isn't it?
Yeah. Oh boy, I'm 43.
Getting real.
I think I am your audience. I am your audience.
Insist that you go in, and that's what's great about women. They want you to take care of them.
If they like
they want to take care of you. I'm sure she does. She will insist that that you go in and get an examination, make sure that you're fine.
Marcus, I want to ask you about an interesting scenario that's obviously at the top of everyone's minds in Indianapolis, and that's Peyton Manning. You had an opportunity at the end of your career to go on to another city where you continued to have success, and it not only did it not hurt your legacy, it probably helped build upon your legacy, what you did in Kansas City. For Peyton, what kind of advice would you give him as it appears as though he's very clearly going to be looking for work elsewhere outside of Indianapolis, and how that's going to affect his legacy as a football player?
It will affect his legacy, and anybody who thinks that it will, I think is absolutely crazy. All he has to do is embrace this as his total career. Whatever his team, if he's going to go to another team, whatever team it is, go to the right place for not only yourself but for your family, and that go to a team that wants you more importantly, and that believes in you, and that will support you. And that's, I think that's the most important thing. As far as the perception that his legacy will be affected, I think it's absolutely ludicrous.
And for you, the Kansas City experience was a positive deal.
It was a great one for me. I think I went to a team that really wanted me. Marty Schottenheimer called me every single day. He wanted me a part of the organization, and I was immediately named the captain of the team, so I felt I had some ownership in the team, and that's really important. And with his pedigree and what he's done, with his legacy, you can't help wherever he goes, he's going to be the centerpiece of the team.
The end of a career is always difficult for players, and I ask you for some perspective on 2 guys in Baltimore that are coming up at some point. Ray Lewis, Ed Reed, guys that will join you in the Hall of Fame for sure, that are coming up on the end of their careers. What is that thought process like as you get to where do I not? Is it time now? What is that like for a player?
Well, I think monetarily we want to play forever because the money's so good. Intellectually, we know we have to go.
But that's not always the same, right?
And challenge ourselves in other areas. And then emotionally, it's something that we've done, since we were kids. So those are the really
how can the fall come around and you don't go play football
to deal with it? But everybody has their clock. everybody knows when it's their time and stuff. But I think the biggest key to a transition is it's really the preparation that you've made over the course of your career. And it helped with me because what helped with me rather is I always said, and Ronnie Lott is always a big part of this, football is what we did, it's not who we are. And even though we played the game and we were totally consumed by it, we left that on the field. And we tried to, embrace life off the field as well, and the challenges there. And so I always felt that I was much more than a football player, so it was easier for me to walk away from it. And rather than being one of those guys that's all I've ever done.
Yeah.
I put my whole life into it, and now I don't know what else to do. So that is, and I'm sure, I look at Ray and the things, I know him personally. I don't know Ed, but I know him personally, and I know that he's preparing for life after football. So when he does walk away, whether it's coaching or whether it's television or something like that, he is prepared to do something else. I know that about him, even though he plays the game like it's the only thing that matters in his life.
And he still might play till he's 50, by the way.
Well.
What about the other direction? I think it's one thing to be rich and famous and have that career, and the adjustment's just psychological because you're taken care of financially. What about the guys in the league that you've seen come and go that have struggled? And I know for the NFLPA, one of the big bargaining chips last year were for players who left the game injured, don't have a lot of money. We're getting more stories about guys, concussions now, physical health, all of those things that football players experience. You still look like $1 million, look like you could go out and run for 1,000 yards tomorrow. But, I mean, obviously this game's taken its toll on a lot of players as well.
Well, it certainly has. And that's why we stress education so much. That's why we stress life after football so much. Because, when you leave the game, if you leave the game, I was lucky. And I played for 16 years, so I left at the age of 37.
There aren't a lot of running backs playing 16 years these days now.
It's sort of an aberration when it comes to that. But when you have guys that prematurely have to leave the game because of injury and only play 3 years, you have to have something else to do. Even at 37, even at 50, you have, there's a whole lot of life out there. So you have to be prepared to be able to do something else, and that's what I said earlier.
Yeah.
It goes back to what I said earlier. Football is what, is what I did, it's not who I am. Hopefully you're more than just that. Hopefully that, that's just football is something on your resume that gives you a platform to do other things.
Marcus Allen, I can't let you go without asking about our running back in Baltimore. He's been pretty special for the last couple of years.
Ray?
Yeah.
I talked to him. I don't know if he remembers this conversation. I can't remember exactly where we were. And he asked me about what to expect.
Yeah.
Early on, before he became a Pro Bowler?
This is before
he was a kid, right? Okay.
He got drafted and stuff like this. And I told him, I can't remember exactly specifically, but I think generally I told him, don't worry. Just believe in yourself. Sort of paraphrasing, but I said, respect all, fear none. All right? Just go in there and you do your thing. And your team will embrace you. Don't say anything, don't talk, go in there and just take care of business. Your team will embrace you, and then you're on your way.
It's pretty good.
Yeah.
And he's here to at least take those words to heart.
He is first of all, I love watching him. He's tough, he's physical for his size, he showed a lot of versatility. He can, catch it, pass blocks, and run around. I have great respect for Ray and his game.
He's an unrestricted free agent. He's still, nobody wants to give running backs money anymore. I would assume he's the one guy
I think he's a vital part of what the Ravens do, and I think they'd be crazy not to re-sign him.
KnowYourStats.org.
Yes.
Make sure everybody gets their prostate.
Let me repeat that. I think the Ravens would be crazy not to re-sign him. I just want to reiterate that. So.
We're going to tweet that out in a second, by the way. When it comes to Marcus Allen, I think it carries a little bit more weight.
I'm a Ray Rice fan, so I just want to tell you, they would be crazy not to re-sign him.
So close, man. You see Bob over there? You remember Bob? Bob Irsay? That's Bob. I know you know Al. Al and Bob had a lot in common.
Hey, Marcus, we'll send everyone to KnowYourStats.org.
I appreciate it very much, guys.
You taking the time. In men's health, it's a really important deal, and this is a great week.
You got it, man. Thanks.
Hall of Famer Marcus Allen.
If you love Baltimore sports, you'll love WNST.net.